sports with us. So without further ado, I want to welcome Justin to the show. Justin from Drophat. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, good, guys. How are you?
We're doing really well. Doing really well.
Yeah. Right on. Excellent.
Glad you were able to join us. Hope there were no technical difficulties or challenges. I know this is probably a little bit of an odd start time, but really appreciate you making time tonight to chat with us.
Yeah, no, absolutely, guys. I really appreciate it. Just
Omar too.
My partner should be joining shortly as well. So,
Yep.
But yeah, no, just we're super excited to be here. There we go. Hey, Omar.
Got him.
Very cool.
Omar and Justin from Drophat. Yeah.
Right on.
Thanks, Omar, for joining.
Greg and Dan, how's it going?
Doing very well. Doing very well. How about yourself?
Doing great. And just want to give you guys a shout out. Appreciate the love, everything you guys have done on the podcast. Justin and I are really appreciative of this partnership. And it's a good listen. I listen to you guys on my way to work and get up to date on
well, that's awesome.
And everything else. So good looking out and looking forward to today's podcast.
Yeah, definitely.
We appreciate that more than you know. Dan and I we started this maybe 9 months ago or something now, Dan, and we really enjoy it. We're growing slow, but we're having a lot of fun doing this, and kudos and all credit to Dan for finding you guys. He hasn't missed a show doing a hat reveal, and he came across you guys, and he's like, these guys would be perfect. Let's see if they're interested, and just really just happy for the collaboration. So mutual respect and admiration to you guys as well.
Appreciate it.
We know we've got some hats to reveal. So I want to turn it over to you guys, and Dan's got one that you sent as well. We like to start our shows that way. So Justin, Omar, whichever one of you wants to go first, the floor is yours, and then we'll let Dan do his.
Yeah,
absolutely. Sure. Yeah, no, I can go first for sure. So,
sure.
As you guys know, Dan, I know all your previous hat reveals sort of been of the sports variety, right? So, as we say, NHL, NBA, MLB, NFL, so forth. But I wanted to do something a little bit different this time today.
Sure.
So, with Drophat, yes, sports absolutely big part of what we do. All the major sports hats, but we also do pop culture. Okay, so that's another option that's there for our boxes for our subscribers. So the hat reveal today, like I said, a little bit different from what you've been receiving there, Dan. So do a little bit of a teaser, so you can see there.
Marvel,
from my hoodie there. So without further ado, we'll go with this guy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we got the Iron Man hat. All right.
I like it.
Yeah, 60th anniversary. So. Like I said, with Drophat, we do sports, we do pop culture, lots of different things, lots of great things, right? So there we go. There's the hat reveal from Drophat.
I like it. That's awesome hat. Very cool hat too.
The new movie, is it out yet, or there's one coming out, right?
There is one coming out. Yeah, not out yet, but I think it's coming out later this year. So
very cool.
Awesome. I like the bottom of that hat too. It's got some designs.
Yeah. No, the brim, the under brim. Yeah, we've got it's got Iron Man.
Very cool.
Right. So
it's
nice. Pretty nice. Like I said, we can do all kinds of stuff. So not just the sports. So
whatever tickles your fancy, right? I mean, there's something for everybody. I love it.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Good stuff.
All right, so I'm up next. Yep. I'm going to throw it to you, Greg and Dan. You get one guess. The greatest team ever assembled.
Does it have anything to do with the shirt you're wearing?
All right, so it's the 92 Dream Team.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. I mean, I'm admiring the shirt.
You got it. So the Olympics is happening this summer. They're assembling LeBron, Curry, KD. I think the U.S. has been embarrassed in FIBA, and they want to send a statement. But there is no better team than the 92 Dream Team. So this is a metallic Jordan 7 emblem.
Wow.
At the back, it says team over everything, and the underbill, it's got the stars.
Wow.
Nice.
Logo over here. So
wow. Now that's a really cool hat. That's a cool hat. Wow.
Yeah. I like that. That is awesome, and it's hard to argue with what you said. I mean, that team, 32 years now, it seems like it just lives the test of time, and whatever kind of sports argument you find yourself in, there's just no arguing with that team. So
that's it. Yeah. 11 Hall of Famers.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Very cool. Very cool. So without further ado, I have maybe the last couple episodes Greg's been guessing. So a couple episodes ago, we did the Edmonton Oilers. I don't know if you want to guess. We have 2 major sports left. I got an NFL team and an NBA team. I know you guys know which one's left. There's 2 left. So you want to take a snap at it?
Yeah, I think I said NBA, right? Is that right?
Yeah, it's going to be NBA.
Okay. The team's still around?
They were in the playoffs, not anymore.
They were in the playoffs. Lakers?
No, sir. So hold on 1 second.
All right, let's see. And you guys know this already. You said it too. Okay, all right. I like it.
We got the Philadelphia 76ers hat by Mitchell and Ness. Really cool company you guys partnered with. They make some really cool hats, some really comfortable hats, and did a little research before while we were doing it. So I don't know if you guys know this. I'm sure you do. But the emblem with the 76ers with the 7 and the 13 stars above it. So the 76 comes from the 1776 when the independence came from England. And the 13 stars above the 7 represents the 13 colonies. So a lot of cool history behind this logo. And like I said, really cool hat. It's a different color, but it's really cool. It's got the Philly right here. So, yeah, cool stuff.
Nice. Very, very nice. You guys have knocked it out of the park with all the hats.
Yeah, Brooklyn Dodgers. We had Jackie Robertson Day. That was awesome. Yeah.
I like that hat, Dan. Philly is kind of my rival city, I guess, when it comes to sports, but I can appreciate a good hat, and I like the bill on that. I knew the origin of the name, the 76ers, but I didn't know the stars. I'm a bit of a history buff, I guess you could say. So I like the homage to the 13 colonies. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool. So another hat knocked out of the park by Drophat.
Yeah,
we appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, we try. Like I said, we've been trying to get you sort of all the major sports, unique looking hats, right? Not just sort of, you'd think of a 76ers hat, sort of just the blue with the white, right? So trying to mix it up with the colors and stuff for you guys too. So
super unique.
Love it.
Just really awesome. We love the stories and the things that, catch our attention. So great job. We definitely want to talk to you guys, about your background, your company. And then obviously we'll talk some more sports. But before we do that, I was on your website just poking around a little bit and trying to be prepared. And I noticed on your about page, you've got a couple nicknames. So I wanted you guys to just 30 seconds, tell me where the juice came from, where the professor came from. What's that all about?
All right, I'll go first. The professor is simple. I'm a phys ed teacher. I've been teaching for 15 years.
Awesome.
Love coaching. Been coaching every sport you can think of. Love developing students' skill set and focus on the process, not the product. So the professor is a nickname actually Justin gave to me. So it stuck. We've been friends since high school, and I've always been known as the professor.
Awesome. Just like trust the process, like the 76ers used to have. You know what I mean?
That's it. Right.
Yeah, trust the process.
Love it.
Absolutely, yeah. And then mine's actually from sports. So I've played baseball since I was 5. So when I was younger and so forth, sort of growing up and stuff. And it was just a nickname that was given to me on the baseball diamond. So I guess Justin, Juice, J-U-S, right? So that's sort of where that nickname came from. And that's what I'm known for. On my teams and stuff, that's what they call. They don't call me Justin; they call me Juice. So, that's cool. That's been a few years now. So,
awesome,
sure. Very cool,
good stuff. We, after this, we're gonna obviously stay in touch, and we might refer to you guys by those nicknames.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm just gonna jump right in. Dan and I are just we're both really curious and really interested because it sounds like you guys are maybe in a similar spot to us. Can you tell us a little bit, both you, Justin, Omar, both you guys, how you guys got started? I mean, how long some of these, I guess you can consider them basic questions, but how long you guys been doing this? It sounds like you guys have been childhood friends, things like that. I guess what spawned the idea to start a business? I know you guys have 2 other partners. Who had the brainstorming idea, the light bulb? Just walk us through some of the background about how you guys got started and where you're going from here.
Sure. Yeah, I can take that one for sure. So, as you mentioned, we've been friends since high school, longtime friends. And, again, growing up, right. People drift away, right. The family things, that kind of stuff. So really what Drophat became was sort of a way for us to sort of stick together and almost like an excuse, to get together and do that kind of stuff. And, we'd always been thinking about perhaps starting a business someday, obviously brainstorming, what could it be, lots of things thrown out, but, we always kept coming back to hats, all throughout high school, hats kind of were our thing, right? We all wore hats. We all love hats. We love the culture, that kind of stuff. So, that's sort of where it came from. And, we decided to do this and go with the mystery hat. One thing that we did notice is, certainly the price of hats. And I don't know if you guys have been in a lid store recently or, a Foot Locker or something like that, but, the price of hats are astronomical now, right? Just crazy, right? Like you walk into a Lids, you want a nice crisp $59.50 and you're talking, $50-$60, right? So, really where it came from was, trying to give that value, trying to give value to people, to stay within the culture, but also give value to people. And, we feel we do that, right? You've seen our website, you see the prices, you see the boxes that we offer, that kind of stuff. And, that's what we really do is we give the value to our subscribers. Right. So.
Awesome. Very cool. I mean, I like the way you phrase it as a way to kind of stay together, basically keep in touch. I mean, that's a really cool, I guess, maybe bonding experience, you could say. And I imagine it's maybe it doesn't feel like work for you guys because you're working with your friends. It's one of those things, do what you like and never work a day in your life kind of thing. So that's really cool. I think Dan and I can probably relate to that. This is something that, we are trying to monetize this show, but we do it because it doesn't feel like work. It's just a way for he and I to connect and stay together. And it sounds like same thing for you guys as well. So that's awesome. I guess I'm kind of curious.
Great.
Yeah, please. Yep.
So in addition to what Justin said, like all of us wore hats throughout high school. And we might have our favorite player, favorite team, but we paid attention to the details. So, for example, I have a Blue Jays hat over here, and the home plate is rubber.
Oh, wow.
So these details, this Raptors hat has a gold metallic here and the underbrow. So we would wear hats. People would come up to us and be like, where did you guys get that hat? And then people would start asking us. So it's the details and our appreciation for the color combinations, the types of hats that come out, whether they're snapbacks, fitteds, your typical dad hat, curved brim. And we would just have people stop us and be like, those are really nice hats. Where'd you get them? We can't find those in stores. And then we saw the need and we're like, there's really nothing online for people to purchase a hat that's unique other than, like Justin mentioned, Lids, Foot Locker. So that's how the idea started, our friendship, our passion for hats, and trying to find something that is difficult to find but accessible for all.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
You probably just educated me. I guess my question then is, maybe I didn't realize this. So are these hats, some of them at least, made to order, you could say? And are they unique to you guys? Like you truly won't find some of them in stores?
There are some hats that our subscribers will get, and they will be very unique. Wow. So we have our different partnerships. And once you fill out that style survey, we will do our very best to ensure you get something on that style survey based on the colors you've provided and the type of hat you want. And once you open it, it's a mystery, but we can stand by our product and guarantee you will get something that you absolutely love. And we've had repeat customers. We've had friends and family referrals. You tell us, Greg and Dan, you seem to be big fans of the hats.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's awesome. I mean, not to cut you off, Greg, but what I usually do with hats, I mean, I go to a lot of baseball stadiums and a lot of football stadiums, and something for me is I always grab a hat somewhere, and it's kind of like a memory. And I mean, and in my room, I have obviously, the hats you guys provided me, and before that, I had 28 hats. So I mean, it's just it's a memory from any sporting event that I go to, and that's kind of the memorabilia stuff for me.
Yeah, so I noticed you completed an outfit. You were wearing like a blue Ralph Lauren polo shirt with the green logo, and the Seahawks hat matched perfectly. And
I'm kind of trying to do the same thing here, a little black and a little red. So I try to match it up. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. There's a lot of thought behind it.
Yeah.
Love it. I got a couple more, but Dan, I know you had some things you want to ask too. I don't want to hog all the time. I'll let you go.
Yeah, so I just going off the company, how are you guys? This might not be an easy question. I was just curious, the partnerships with Mitchell & Ness, 47 brand, New Era. I mean, you guys just approached them and tried to get them on board, or I mean, if I guess it's kind of a broad question. I'm just, because those are really cool brands. They got a lot of cool stuff. I was just kind of seeing how you were able to, I guess, personally get a partnership with those really cool brands, Adidas and Nike and all that.
Yeah. No, again, we do have relationships, with suppliers and so forth, right? I mean, it is really tough to get, direct partnerships with like Nike and that kind of stuff. So we do sort of use intermediaries in that sense for some of those hats. But, some of the other ones, like these types of hats and stuff, we have a direct line into a company called BioWorld. Cool. which where we're able to get all the pop stuff and all of that stuff for our boxes, right? So definitely tough to break into some of the big guys, but we do use sort of intermediaries and other suppliers too to be able to get our product and get our stock. So
very cool. Yeah, I actually emailed New Era and they responded to me, but they said they weren't interested in any sponsorships at the moment. So we tried ourselves, but yeah, I was just curious on that. And then but yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, I guess another thing, not to end it, but like going forward, you guys just trying to get as many, like, the future for the company, just trying to touch as many aspects of pop culture, sports as you can, or like, for the future.
I would say similar to the two of you.
Yeah,
build our brand, develop partnerships such as ours and yours, and obviously increase our monthly subscribers. So it's a two-prong approach.
Yep, exactly. Very
nice.
Cool.
Do you guys, is it still the four of you, the founders that are involved, or have you expanded and hired anybody? The four of you? Very cool.
Yeah, the four horsemen, we like to call them.
I like it.
Yeah, still us, still the originals. We've been doing this for about 6 years now.
Very
so
cool.
2018 was when we started, got everything rolling, and it's been great, right? I mean, we have a ton of subscribers. The growth has been great. Feedback we've been getting as well, really, really great. From all of our subscribers. And, Omar had mentioned sort of when we started, we always had this thought when we started, right? Because obviously, you have your business plan and, try to plan things or that kind of stuff. We were like, you know what, how many hats could people need, right? Really, honestly. So, we're trying to measure out, how long do we think a subscriber would stay with us? Well, maybe 1 month, 2 months, get, say you have a legend box, maybe get 6 hats over 2 months. That's about it. We have subscribers, guys, I kid you not, that have been with us for over 2 years.
That's awesome.
Just stick with it. Because again, they see the value, right? They see the value of what we offer, and we're able to style them and really send them things that they enjoy and they like, right? So,
I love it. I see the need. I mean, there's, first of all, people love the surprise, it's people, there's subscriptions for so many things nowadays, and people love that box coming to their door, that anticipation builds. And I think it's a cool thing to look forward to every single month. And, there are people out there that have massive shoe collections, massive hat collections, and they just keep it going. So, it doesn't surprise me at all. I think you guys got a big ceiling.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Very cool.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I was just going to add there too, that, we're, while we have a ton, one of the, like you said, right, there are lots of people out there, they like surprises, right? So that's why the mystery box works. It's not for everyone. I'm going to be honest with you, right? There's a lot of people out there that would rather just go buy a hat, color they want, this and that. So, no, like I said, we style it. There's that style survey that you fill out. You tell us what you like, the types of hats, the colors, the teams you like. We even ask teams you don't like. We don't want to, again, if you're a huge New York guy, I know you guys are, certainly with some of your teams, you don't want none of that Boston stuff, right? So, we certainly put that. Exactly. We certainly put that. We put that on the style survey, right, for them to let us know. So we don't send them something that they don't want. So
very cool. I got one more. I'm curious. Your I guess core competency is the hats, but I know that on your website you list some other things. Have you seen some growth in some of the accessories? Do you guys foresee that becoming a bigger part of the business, or are you mostly going to stick to kind of doing what you know with the hats?
The accessories tie in really nicely with the hats. So we offer a lot of variety of socks. We used to get a lot of stand socks, and we still do. So in our boxes, we offer a lot of sports apparel that go with the hats. So for example, you'll open your box, you'll get a hat, maybe a matching pair of socks or a sweatband, a cell phone holder, things like that. So the accessories are important because, to Justin's point, that's the value. When you walk into a store, you're buying a hat and that's it. With us, you're getting a mystery box, you're getting a hat, and a pretty cool accessory that comes with it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, very cool. Going off what you were saying, we just went on a golf trip this past weekend, me and Greg, and I actually had my Oilers hat on, so it was pretty cool. Everybody was asking where to get my Oilers hat, and yeah, so it was fun. I had a lot of crap talking because my Oilers won, so it was fun.
Right on. Yeah, I'd like to. I guess I can't take credit for that, right? I sent it a few weeks ago to you, but you know, they're playing great. They're absolutely playing great. So you know, hopefully they can do it. I know you're a bit conflicted there, Dan, with you you know, living in Florida and you know, kind of having the Panthers in your backyard, right? So, but I think it'll be good. I think it'll be a good. I think it'll be a good. Good Stanley Cup final for sure. So
I think so too. Yeah, we just touched on it. I think it's going to go 7. It depends on Stuart Skinner. It depends how he plays, and if he plays how he played game 5 and 6, it should be good. So
this is a perfect segue because I was ready to talk sports, Dan. Unless you got anything else.
No, I'm ready to talk sports. Yeah.
Awesome. I appreciate you guys laying that out for us and our listeners. It's great backstory, and it's inspiring, honestly, to hear the journey you guys have had, the growth. It's awesome, and I give you guys a lot of kudos and credit. Do you guys have time to stick around and chop up some sports with us? I don't want to keep you if you guys got somewhere to go. Awesome.
Cool.
We definitely want to talk to both of you. Justin, I guess I'll start with you. Dan and I were reviewing some of the exchanges we had back and forth. You got the banner behind you right now. Yeah. Are you now a Denver Broncos season ticket holder?
I am, yes.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a long journey. I'll say that. So I've been a Bronco fan since the mid 90s. You know, started out funny story. You know, you're 11, 12, you know, you like football, you want to come up with a team. You know, the Broncos, if you guys remember, back in 96, 97, changed their logo. So they changed it to the current logo. Yep. It used to be the D, right? So the D with the horse in it. And I just, as an 11-year-old, I just love that new logo, right? So, and then the other thing too is John Elway was always my favorite player. So I said, you know what, the Broncos are my team. And you know, if I mean, obviously, you know the history of the NFL. You know, I became a fan, and immediately they won 2 Super Bowls. So I was
I salute.
I was hooked. So, but then 2008, I decided to join the season ticket wait list. I was like, you know what, you know, would be an awesome thing to do and to have, you know, in the future. At that time, they had said it was about a 10-year wait. So I figured, lots of time, put my name on the list. You know, no problem. And then, 16 years later, back in late April, I got the email that I was, my name came up and available, and I got my tickets. So I will be attending quite a number of games this fall in Denver. So really, really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it.
Very cool. How many do you have? Do you have 2? And is Omar coming with you?
I got 2. Yeah, no, for sure. So it's actually funny. So our other 2 partners, huge football guys as well. And one of them is a Raiders fan, and the other is a Falcons fan. So it actually just so happened that this year, I mean, obviously the Raiders every year go to Denver, but the Falcons are in Denver this fall as well. So it actually worked out perfectly. So we're going to do a couple of trips this fall and go check out those games with everyone. So yeah, should be good.
That's awesome. Congrats. Yeah, cool. I'm sure it's going to be a blast, especially for you, you know, being so patient and waiting. That's I'm glad you got them. I got to give you a little bit of a hard time. You guys got some new owners, right? I think in the last year or 2, a lot of money, and it just seems like you guys just love giving it away. I mean, Russell Wilson, other guys. I mean, what is that just a thing? Just throw the money out there. It doesn't really matter.
It's that Walmart money, man. You know what? Just if you got it, spend it, I guess, right? No. In all seriousness, though, it's you know, it was a rough you know, first couple years with the Waltons, certainly. You know, I think you know, the Russell Wilson trade for one. I mean, I think I understand where they were coming from. I mean, he was, you know, not the Russell Wilson of what he was, you know, sort of Super Bowl champion with the Seahawks. But you know what? He was still, you know, arguably a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, right? And, you know, you look at the history of the Bronco quarterbacks, right? You know, ever since Manning, you know, won us that Super Bowl and then retired, it has been an absolute revolving door at the quarterback position, right? So I think the intent behind the trade was good. I think they gave up a lot, obviously. But, getting that sort of trying to get that stability at the quarterback position was, I think, important, right? And certainly with the new owners coming in as well. So, but I think where they sort of erred, the issue was pairing Russ with Nate Hackett, right? So a guy that had never been a head coach before. He was sort of I guess known as a bit of a players guy, trying to be friends with the players and stuff. And that season, as you guys saw, was just a complete and utter disaster, right? So, and then again, the history of quarterbacks with the Broncos has not been great. They have not drafted a quarterback that has been really any good ever. You look back at Elway. Elway wasn't drafted by the team, right? He was traded for. He was drafted by Baltimore and then was traded to the Broncos. So, I think there's a bit of stability now with Sean Payton. I mean, yes, again, they gave up draft picks to get him. But Sean Payton is he's a Hall of Fame coach, right? He's a Super Bowl champion, Hall of Fame coach. Last year was a little bit rough as well. Certainly, I don't think Russ really meshed well with Payton's system. That was I think all Bronco fans kind of saw it at the beginning, maybe a little bit doomed from the start. But you know what? It was just kind of a rip the Band-Aid off type thing. Now, you know what? To get rid of Russ, you're going to have to pay. Probably shouldn't have extended him like they did. But rip the Band-Aid off, just take the cap hits now. I mean, when you look at it too, the fact that they now have a rookie in Bo Nix, they have Jarrett Stidham. He's only making $5 million a year. And then when you add that to Russ's cap hit too. I mean, if you can, if your quarterback room is making, 35-40 million bucks, you'd say that's probably pretty good in today's NFL, right? And then you look at the cap jump as well this year. The cap certainly jumped a significant amount. So, when you're looking at the dead cap hit for Russ this year, that kind of offset by the cap jump, right? So, I think it's going to be. I think the Broncos and us Bronco fan, Jim, for a bit of a long haul. Sean Payton's really trying to sort of build it in his the way he likes to build teams and stuff. And I think drafting Bo Nix. I mean, I know there was a lot of talk about where they took him. 12th overall. I mean, the reality was they weren't getting up to even the top 5 to take one of the top guys. So, and when you look at Bo Nix as well, he's kind of a Sean Payton quarterback, right? He's very, very accurate, makes smart decision, quick reads. You look at Drew Brees, and again, I'm not saying Bo Nix is or will be Drew Brees, but he was always like that, right? Very, very quick, quick to analyze everything. So yeah. I just think you know what, they had to take a shot. You got to get a quarterback in there, and you know what, if Bo Nix doesn't work out, then I don't know. I mean, I don't think they're going to be very good this year. So I would imagine it's probably going to be a top 5 pick next year, right? So I guess if that's the case,
you'll still have some growing pains, I think, but I do like Bo Nix, and I think I know why it took so long for you to get the season tickets. Somebody was looking out for you and didn't want you to witness that 70 burger last season. Not to be there in person.
Absolutely.
Good stuff. Dan, I know you got something. I just want to I want to ask Omar, because he is wearing the shirt. He got the hat. Is basketball your thing? Is that your favorite sport? I mean, and if it is, who's your allegiance? Who are you tied to?
So 100%. Basketball has always been my favorite sport to not only watch, but to play. And when you play, you have a certain appreciation when you're watching. Growing up, had to be MJ and the Bulls. I think there was no better TV than watching the Bulls in the 90s. A lot of basketball fans worldwide are because of that team. As a hometown Toronto guy, it's got to be the Raptors. We're definitely in a rebuild right now. So I have favorite players, and my favorite player for the last few years has been Luka. So definitely rooting for Dallas to take down Boston.
Yep. It's
going to be a tough task. Boston has some elite defenders, and Luka has to play lights out with Kyrie to have a chance. So it should be a good series.
You think they can do it?
If Luka and Kyrie play lights out every game, they can do it. If one of them doesn't have a great game, then Boston's going to win because they just have too many weapons. And even with like Gafford and Lively playing really good at the 4 or 5 position, Porzingis is back. Yep. He stretches the floor. So now you have Gafford and Lively who really don't leave the paint. All of their points are in the paint. Porzingis is going to bring them out. Horford can bring them out. Now there's no rim protection.
Yeah.
Tatum's been playing good. Jaylen Brown had the best playoffs he's ever had. He won the Eastern Conference MVP. And you have Drew Holiday, who is going to be ding up Kyrie full court. You have Derek White, who's going to be all over Luka. And anytime someone gets tired, Boston's going to send someone else out.
Yeah.
I do see the series going 6-7. I'm rooting for Dallas, but I think Boston is a more well-balanced team. Coaching-wise, I'll give it to Jay Kidd.
I got
Former player, he's won a championship. He's been in the finals. I think he has the advantage there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think so too. Yeah. So, I wanted to touch on the Broncos too. You touched on it too, Justin. So, when we were doing the draft, we did a show around the draft, and we talked about the afterwards draft. And I think the main reason why you guys got Bo Nix is because they saw a lot of Drew Brees and Bo Nix. I mean, same kind of height. They see his 55 starts in college. He's got a lot of experience, very accurate. And I think that this is going to be good for them. And also, they got my boy Audric Estime. He's going to be a sleeper. He's my boy out of Notre Dame, and I think he's going to be a sleeper, second-round pick. But I think you guys are going the right way. I mean, like I said, Bo Nix could be just as good as Drew Brees. I mean, you'd be awesome because, I mean, Drew Brees was top-notch. You get half of Drew Brees, I think you guys are in the right direction. I think Sean Payton really is going to be a great coach for you guys. He's an offensive mind. He knows what's going on, and I think there's going to be a lot of from, new quarterback, new the jerseys, new logo. I think not the logo, but new jersey. I think everything's going to be popping and rolling for the Broncos. So,
absolutely. Yeah. No, yeah. I think, the other thing too, you look at that roster, right? It's essentially wide open, right? I mean, they had Javonte Williams. They drafted him a few years back, the previous regime before Sean Payton. So, you look at that running back room, right? You got Jaleel McLaughlin, you've got Javonte Williams, now you got Audric Estime. It's wide open, right? It is wide open. So I do like Estime. I think he's going to be a really great player. The whole team's wide open. I think, if everyone plays sort of fantasy football, I don't think it's going to be a very good team for fantasy football in terms of the players. There's going to be a lot of sharing the rock and a lot of different players. But I'm excited. I am. I think it's ever since the Super Bowl, ever since Manning, they've needed a rebuild. They honestly have, right? And they've just been trying to sort of get by. Let's sign, the veteran quarterback on the free agent market. Let's just try to get by. And you know what? It didn't work, right? It clearly didn't work. So they're now back to sort of a rebuild here. Going to be a bit of pain, I think, for the next couple of years. But I'm excited. I'm excited to watch what Sean Payton can do and, watch him build this team. So
if Tim Patrick can stay healthy too, you got a pretty solid wide receiver. And then you got Cortland Sutton. And I was surprised you guys let Jerry Jeudy go, but I think you got third and fourth round draft pick for him. So
went to the Browns. I think that was more of an attitude type thing with Jerry Jeudy. I think so too. I don't think he meshed well with Sean Payton. There was that whole thing with Steve Smith last year when they were sort of beefing on the sidelines during one of I think it was a Thursday night game. So. I think that was more to do with just personality and stuff. But there's like I said, the wide receiver room is wide open. You got Marvin Mims. You got Troy Franklin too, sort of Bo Nix's boy, right? They picked him in the fourth round, which I was
He's
shocked.
Got a lot of speed.
Absolutely. And I was shocked he was there in the fourth round too, right? So wide open all over the place. And like I said, I'm really excited. And
then the guy with the coolest name in the NFL, little Jordan Humphrey. Little Jordan Humphrey.
Got it. Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, very cool. Like I said, I was a little mad that Estime left, but I think he's going to be good for you guys. And going over to the Raptors, I think the Raptors are kind of in a rebuild as well. Scotty Burns, he's out of Florida State. He was a top 5 draft pick, lottery pick. I think he's the future, along with RJ Barrett, local Canadian boy, and Emmanuel Quickley. I think those three are a good cornerstone for the Raptors. I think they got a good coach, and I like their GM. He's a speedball. He runs his mouth a lot, but he gets what he wants, and I like that. I remember a couple of years ago in the finals, he was saying how the Clippers were nobody, or not the Clippers, the Sixers when they beat them in Game 7, how they were we'll beat them. We need them. So a lot of cool stuff, and I like your background on the finals with Dallas. I think if Kyrie and Luka, if they can dominate the game like they did Game 1, 2, 3, Kyrie scoring 30 points in the second half. I mean, that's ridiculous. Luka Doncic, hitting the 3 over Rudy Gobert. I mean, he's playing out of his mind.
Yeah.
But again, like you said, with Porzingis back, I mean, they're going to be pushing the guys out. Lively's he's a rookie, really tall guy, but he's not good on the outside. And they got Halford. I mean, Halford's hitting threes, so you gotta watch that 3.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it goes 6 or 7 as well. Obviously, I'm not a Boston guy, so I think Dallas should pull it out in 7. I mean, J Kidd's a beast. He's top 5 point guard, I think, of all time, in my opinion.
One thing that's interesting about this Dallas team is their performance in clutch time.
Yeah.
So when they were playing OKC and Minnesota, for most of those 2 series, they were losing.
Yep.
And then in the last 4 minutes, they would just turn up the defense and were very efficient offensively. A lot of those games were really close until that last blowout when they sent Minnesota home on their home court. So Boston, on the other hand, is not very good in the clutch. Jaylen Brown has been known to not show up in the biggest moments. He's been playing better this year. So we'll see. If it's a close game and it's down to the last 3-4 minutes, I'm taking Dallas.
Exactly. And then besides the finals, I mean, Jaylen Brown was shooting 50% from free throw. So it goes exactly to your point. I mean, he was shooting 55%, and then Eastern Conference Finals, I think he put it up to about 75, 80. But besides that, I mean, he hit that 3 in game 1 to send it to overtime. But he's, they double team Jason Tatum. You got Drew Holiday. Derek White is either hot or he's cold. There's no in between. So, yeah, the clutchness with Dallas, I think that's going to definitely be a factor.
Do you think, though, sorry, Greg, but and this is a question for both of you. Kyrie playing his former team, the history with Boston and the fans, and that relationship was severed. Do you think that's going to play into his psyche and how he performs going into that building?
So you asked me this about a year and a half ago. I would say yes. But nowadays, I'm going to say no. And the reason why, I was watching a lot of that Dallas series and listening to the announcers. They've really gone underneath Jason Kidd's arm, and they've really watched how Jason Kidd has played basketball. And I think him and Luka, they both do what Jason Kidd does. And, how he played, he was always pretty self-centered, not self-centered, but pretty under control is what I meant to say. And I don't think it's going to get to him. It might get to him the first 5 minutes maybe, but he's playing different ball games now. I mean, he did a lot of stupid crap in Brooklyn, with the COVID stuff, with doing all these movies, staying out of the bubble. But
he stomped on their logo, the Boston.
Yeah, stomped on his logo, exactly. So there's going to be a lot of noise towards him, but I think it's out of his head, to tell you the truth, just because of Jason Kidd. I think Jason Kidd is the main proponent for Kyrie Irving's turnaround. That's my thoughts.
I'm inclined to agree with Dan. I mean, he knows more about it than I do, but I just think when it comes to really any sport, the best of the best just have a way of blocking some of that stuff out, just turning away the noise. It's all psychology, I think, at that point. But I agree with Dan. I think you tune that out and it's not even a thing to you.
Plus, he wants it too. I mean, he wants to prove that he can win it without LeBron. He's only got 1 championship, and that was with LeBron. Yeah. Obviously, when he was young, but still, if he wants to win a championship, he's going to, prove it without LeBron. So that's, I think he's going to be able to.
He has to change his whole narrative.
Yeah.
That fractured relationship with Nike, everything else that has happened in his career since he left the Cavs. Yep. This is his redemption arc.
That's what I'm saying too. I think that him and Luka, if they're on, I mean, they could average 30 points each. And yes. I mean, it's ridiculous. And like I said, I don't mean to keep repeating myself, but Jason Kidd's going to be the catalyst. They're gonna go where Jason Kidd goes. And remember, he used to do the free throw. He used to, I think that's how Jason Kidd's going to do it. So, yeah,
kiss of death.
Yeah, very cool.
Omar, I wanted to ask you. To me, this is kind of like a rite of passage. I feel like I'm a big hockey fan. When you're in Toronto, are you just naturally a Leafs fan? I mean, obviously you're a Raptors fan. Are you Blue Jays too? I mean, do you root for any of the other teams in the area?
So Justin and I will always rep Toronto teams.
Nice.
But again, growing up in the 90s, I had other favorite teams. So I grew up loving the Penguins. Lemieux and Yager were my favorite dynamic duo. I used to look at the newspaper, and they were always at the top in terms of points. And just their way of playing, I love the Penguins.
Yeah.
Love the Blue Jays. I mean, me and Justin got to witness as kids the back-to-back 92-93 championships. So that was pretty awesome. We had some tough years after that, but always got to support our Blue Jays. And for Leafs, it's been tough. Every playoffs, we get the hope because they play so well in the regular season, and then it's just a different team in the playoffs. And this year was no different.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, Matthews had that hell of a year with almost 60 goals. Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm really curious now. How do you feel about this? Are you guys rooting for the Oilers to bring the cup back to Canada, or don't care?
So did you hear what Wayne Gretzky said? It's an entire country. that needs to go behind Edmonton and support them. So forget about the Calgary-Edmonton rivalry. Forget about the Canucks and the Leafs. Put all that aside, and it's all of us Canadians rooting for the Oilers. And you got to want it for Connor McDavid. I mean,
definitely.
Incredible.
Now, even if it's Montreal, I mean, you're rooting for them. Montreal versus the Panthers.
Okay, let me take this one, Omar. It would not be Montreal, sadly. No, back in the COVID season, I was rooting heavily for the Tampa Bay Lightning in that Stanley Cup final for sure. So
I just had to ask. I can see the allegiance for sure to bring back the cup to Canada, but just some teams you can't root for. I was rooting heavily against the Rangers, and Dan's against the Sox. I kind of figured this.
Absolutely.
We were doing some research too. I think I saw you guys were big MLS fans. I think Toronto FC.
Correct. Yeah, correct. Absolutely. So we've got Toronto FC up here. Definitely rep them. Actually wound up getting season tickets to them this year as well. So first time ever. So I've been to a number of matches this year, and just a really great atmosphere. I mean, the supporter section is phenomenal. The supporter clubs that we have up here are second to none. They're fantastic. And, it really, back in the sort of the heyday, 2016, 17, 18, 19, when they were winning MLS Cups and making the finals, just the vibe in the city was amazing, right? It absolutely was. Soccer is such a global sport, right? And, you look at the city of Toronto, it really is a mosaic, right? There's so many different cultures and so forth. So really did bring the city together when TFC was good. And, you look this year too, they're sort of mid-table, which is great. I mean, they were an absolute disaster last year. Fired their coach, a lot of turnover on the roster, but, they're certainly hanging tough. I mean, they did bring in John Herdman, who was the head coach of the Canadian national team. He coached the women back in sort of the 10 years ago or so, and then took over the men's team, and now he's the TFC head coach. So the positive vibes to TFC. We're hoping they can have a good year. So for sure. Yeah,
very cool. I live in St. Augustine, obviously, which is about an hour and a half from Orlando. Mm-hmm. So I go to Orlando City games, and just to speak of what you guys said, Orlando City, a really cool atmosphere. They have a really cool supporting section, and MLS soccer games are just really fun. They're just, it's really cool. And especially if you know about the game, like I know about all different types of sports, so you can kind of see what's going on. It's like like hockey, but a little bit faster, a little bit slower here and there, but it's fun. And I remember back about probably 6-7 years ago, you guys had my boy Josie Altidore and Michael Bradley. So I mean, they were kind of like the heyday of Toronto FC. And I remember Josie Altidore, what was that, 2010 Olympics? So when he did pretty good for the USA team. So I was always a big fan of Toronto. And then you could never miss Michael Bradley with that bald head. So
you got it. Yeah, absolutely. No, they're legends here. They're legends of the club. They really are. I mean, they were instrumental in that MLS Cup in 2017, and then the other two finals that they made it to. So, we love those guys up here. We do. Michael Bradley, Josie Altidore, legends, club legends for sure.
USA legends too.
Yep, you got it.
Yes, sir. I guess another cool question I got for you guys, and whoever wants to go first. A couple episodes ago, we did our top 5 venues. So maybe not top 5 venues for you guys, but if you want to name off a couple of like your top, maybe 1 or 2 sports venues, just kind of curious to see what your thoughts are on that.
I can go first. Sure. For me, MSG and the former Palace of Auburn Hills. So, okay. I went to university in Windsor, which borders Detroit. So I went to a lot of Pistons games, and this is like the Rasheed Wallace, Phillips, Ben Wallace team.
Rip Hamilton,
Chauncey
Billups,
Prince. Unreal team. And that crowd, like it was the chirping they would do, you would never hear that in any other stadium. And they would show love. We would go there wearing Raptors jerseys, and they would show love. But I just love the atmosphere. So Palace of Auburn Hills for sure. And then anytime I've been to MSG, it's the Mecca for a reason.
Yeah, the Mecca. Exactly. Cool. Yeah. They. I never been to a Palace Auburn Hills, but I remember watching playoff games. I mean, that was one of the loudest arenas. Still is one of the loudest arenas I've watched on TV. It's just, I mean, they had that brawl. The Ron Artest. I can only imagine. The Malice at the Palace. Exactly. Yeah. So I can only imagine. I always think it's a cool question to ask about venues. Like I said, we did a top 5 of one of our friends on here, and it's always cool to hear what people think. So
Absolutely. Yeah, no, and for me, honestly, you know, the atmosphere at an NFL football game, to me, it's second to none. It really is. You know, I've been to everything. I've been to hockey, NHL. I've been to MLB games, MLS, obviously, but the atmosphere at an NFL game is just unmatched, right? So, you know, I would say probably my top two. One is certainly Denver. You know, Empire Field, as it's now known. Just the atmosphere there during the games is amazing. But another one too, I did see the Broncos in Cleveland back about 15 years ago, and just the passion that team, that those fans have for that team, it's amazing. It really is. I mean, they call it the factory of sadness for a reason, right? You know, they've been so bad for so long, but just the passion that city has for that team is just, it's absolutely amazing. It really is.
I can totally understand that. There's a local bar down the street from me, Duffy's. It's a chain. You guys might have them up there, but there's, you know, we're in Florida. It's a little random, I guess, but there's a group of Browns fans that rent out and claim the space every single Sunday.
Wow.
And they have their parties in the restaurant, and they take over, and they're so passionate. You know, over the years, I've known some Browns fans, all very, very nice. And, you know, they've not had a whole lot to be happy and excited about, but they are still super passionate. So I could completely understand and see how that would be a great atmosphere.
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then
I've got a buddy actually. Sorry, I've got a buddy who's actually he's a Leafs fan and a Browns fan. I don't know how he does it. I really don't. Right? I just
a lot of medication, maybe.
Yeah, it's bad. That's a lot of therapy right there. So
yeah.
A lot of Labatt's and Molsons, if I had to say.
You got it exactly.
Yep. But I was going to mention I went to Denver about 3 years ago, and I went to a Rockies game, and that whole city, Denver, is just an awesome place. I'm sure you know, obviously, but you know, just wanted to touch on that. I don't know if you've ever been to Coors Field, but that was one of my favorite stadiums to go to. Just the whole outfield. I mean, the whole outside the stadium, they have that whole like town center, restaurants, bars, and just really cool. So,
haven't been to Coors Field yet though, but I am going to try to when I'm there in September.
Oh, that's the perfect weather.
For the home opener for the Broncos, I'm going to try to see if I can sync up schedules and see if I can get in a Rockies game there. So
that's the best weather to go. I went in September about 3 years ago, and that's like 80 degrees. Oh, perfect.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Ice cold banquet beers, you're good to go.
That's it. You got it.
Yeah. Yep.
I know we've been talking a lot about Boston, but I do got to give a shout out. I did the Fenway Park tour and stayed for a game. It was unreal. The oldest park in US.
Yeah.
Just the history alone. Have any of you ever been?
Greg's been, yeah.
Dan tells me he's not allowed. It
won't be good for me. I'm a diehard Yankee fan, so it won't be good for me.
I went 2 years ago. I believe it was 2 years this summer. Took a trip to New York, where I'm from, some family. I took the ferry across the Long Island Sound to Connecticut, and then drove from Connecticut up to Massachusetts. I had never been to Boston before. Like I said, I'm kind of a history buff, so I really wanted to see some different things there. And I just love visiting all stadiums, baseball, parks, football, hockey, whatever. So I was like, you know, it's summertime. Baseball's the only thing going around. Timing was right where I was able to catch a game. Tickets, I think, were pretty reasonable. I was, you know, I don't have any allegiance to Boston, so I wasn't really looking forward to spending a lot of money, but they were pretty affordable. We sat in the outfield, not by the Monster side, but the other side, and we got to see a home run over the Monster while we were there, which is really awesome. But I enjoyed the experience as well. We walked, I think, a little bit of a ways from our hotel through some of the parks there, and we just kind of stumbled upon the stadium, and it just kind of hit me that, wow, it's right here. And we walked around it and inside it. And I tried to take it in. It was one of those moments where, like you said, I realized I'm inside of the oldest ballpark and all the history here, because there's not that many of those left. You know, I understand why, you know, they have to tear them down and build a new, and some of these new stadiums are just absolutely unworldly, but there's something special about the older parks, and I really tried to soak it all in. But yeah, I enjoyed that experience a lot.
I did mini Fenway down in Fort Myers. We did a spring training game, so I guess that's the closest I'll get there. Fenway South, they call it.
The mini green monster, I guess, eh?
Yeah, we were on top of it too. I mean, I guess I could go to Fenway, but it had to be a neutral team. Like maybe, I don't know. I guess I could be a Toronto Blue Jays fan for a day.
There you go. Send you a hat.
Yeah, I got the hat you guys sent me, so I'll wear
Yep.
that hat. Yeah, yep,
Yep.
exactly. Yep.
Perfect.
So very cool.
This has been fantastic. We could talk sports all day, all night with you guys. This has been so awesome. We don't want to keep you. We know you probably got some things to do. Do you guys have any parting questions for us? We can't thank you enough, but is there anything you wanted to run by us before we let you go?
Yep.
No, just want to say thank you guys. I think this partnership has been great. Sort of the love that you guys show us each week is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
We're very excited to continue this with you guys, and thank you. Thanks very much. We love it.
Likewise, we're doing everything we can. We're telling everybody we know, family.
Yeah, we're trying
friends,
as hard as we can. Yeah,
and we're
Right on.
promoting it. Like I said, your story, your journey is super inspiring. Dan and I know what it is to try to start something from the ground up. Basically, it's not easy, especially when you're working other day jobs. It takes time and dedication, but it sounds like you guys got it all going on. So really appreciate you guys coming on and sponsoring our show and helping us grow. And we want to do the same for you guys, and open invitation to come back and whenever you guys want to talk sports with us. Omar, if you want to catch a flight and catch a Raptors Heat or Magic game,
come on with it.
We'll come join you. And
Absolutely.
same thing for you. Justin. The Bucks are not too far from here, and even the Jags up by Dan. So
Jacksonville.
We can make something happen and definitely stay in touch.
And if the other two gentlemen, if the other two gentlemen want to join too, if they want to, let them know.
We have to give them a shout out. So our one buddy Nuan, he's a big part of our business, and we've known him obviously for over 20 years. Yeah. And our other partner Nishu, he just got married, so we're going to say congrats on air to him.
Yeah.
It's been the four of us from the beginning. And I have a question for you, Greg.
Yeah.
When are you going to fill out your style survey so we can send you a box?
Very soon. As I'm sitting here thinking about all the different styles you guys have, and we were talking about, I'm like, I know they can hook me up with some hats that for me it would be mostly sports, but I know you guys could do something Devils, Mets, Giants related. Some of the unique hats out there, the retro ones, but honestly, even some of my guesses for Dan, the NHL ones, I'm a sucker for some of the older teams, like the Whalers, the Nordiques, and some of those very unique things out there. So I know you guys will do great work, and check your inbox. There'll be something coming soon.
Oh,
absolutely, yeah. No, we're looking forward to it. We're gonna hook you up, man, for sure, 100%.
Awesome. We appreciate it. Like I said, we're spreading the love as much as we can, and it just started out when we did it in September. It was a hat. I went in my closet and I was like, let me do a different hat, and then I was like, this would be a cool part of the show, and then I did some research, found you guys. So, like I said, not to repeat ourselves, it's been a blast, and like I said, we're pushing as much as we can. It's a cool aspect of the show because, like I said, Greg is always like, oh, I wonder what hat you're going to do, and then we've kind of turned it into like a guess, and it's been pretty cool. So we really appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thank you guys so much.
Yep.
Hope you have a wonderful evening, and we'll definitely be staying in touch.
Sounds great. All right, boys. Have a good
Thanks
night.
so much.